My first tip for drawing trees is don't think leaves, think surface. A lot of the problem we get caught up in drawing trees is because we're just too aware of all these tiny leaves and we feel somehow we have to draw them. A much more helpful way is to look at a tree as being surface. So what is the surface I want to try and represent? And it's not an easy surface because it's not made up of smooth, flat planes. We represent it really by showing the light and dark because the light highlights some parts and the shade and shadow highlights other parts. And from that, our brain can work out the shape. We also need to pay attention to light direction. The light clearly is coming down from the top right. The opposite corner of the tree, it's in the most dark. So let's start to draw. Because there are no smooth straight lines, I like to try not to draw any. And at the start, I'm really just suggesting where some of these surface areas might change direction when I start to put some line in to indicate light direction and therefore shape. I started by drawing this section. The way to represent shadows, of course, is with hatching. Now at some point, with the trees such as this, I'm going to have to put some branches in. And my second point is don't let the branches be too thick. It's a common mistake in drawings of trees I see that the branches just don't have room for their thickness to dissipate into twigs before we get to the end. If we draw them thinner than we think they're going to be, then we can always thicken them up easily enough. Pay attention to which bunches of leaves move in front of the trunks, which ones are behind. My third point is pay attention to the silhouette of the tree. Outlines are always particularly important when we draw. But particularly with trees, I want to make sure I do a very light dotty touch here to represent the outline of this particular tree. I find it best not to get too caught up in doing our hatching, our shaded areas too dark until we have a better sense of the overall shape and shading that we're going to want to do of the whole tree. I'm paying particular attention here to silhouette. It's important to establish where the light areas are because I need to make sure I protect them from having hatching put into them. I prefer to work branches back to the trunk, not from the trunk. I find I have much greater control. My fourth point is to be very careful at suggesting individual leaves. Because when our brain sees something it thinks is an individual leaf, it will use that to work out what size the tree is. And generally, if we draw a shape and the brain sees it as a leaf, it will reduce the sense of size of the tree and ensure that I don't put hatching where I want sunlit leaves to be. I often find when I've drawn more of the tree, I like to redefine some of the silhouette areas, put them into a more purposeful shape. Even with my hatching lines, it's helpful to use smaller lines, smaller lighter lines more closely together for the shadows further away. When drawing branches, it can be very helpful to see the shapes that they form and try in some ways to make sure we form those shapes. With the larger branches, it's important to pay attention to which branches are in front of other branches. Every tree has its own unique way of branching, and it's good to try and capture something of that. What are our 5 tips? I'm not seeing leaves. I'm doing my best to see surfaces. Surfaces are defined by the effect of light, and therefore the light direction is really important. I'm paying particular attention to silhouettes, the outside edges of anything, whether it's a branch or whether it's a leaf. I'm taking care not to let my branches be too thick, particularly near the edge of the tree, because they have to have space to disappear into tiny twigs before they get to the very edge of the tree canopy. I need to be very careful with the way I render this tree, not to suggest individual leaves unless I'm making them very small, such as in a dot. Because if our brain sees a shape that it thinks is a leaf, it will use that to determine a sense of scale for the tree. That will make the tree actually look a lot smaller. So far in real time, this drawing has taken me about half an hour. It's always helpful with hatching trees to outline the general shape we want the shadow or the light to fit within. One of the dangers in this technique is that we lose concentration and we start to make the same sort of marks everywhere with the same sort of space in between them. And we lose that sense of random that a tree has. And now we'll move over to the left side of the tree. At this stage now, I'm not really looking at particular details. I'm looking at the overall light and dark balance and now seeking to capture that in a big picture, because one of the problems with looking at small areas and doing them is we lose track of the overall impact of our line work. And at the end, that's what people are going to see. And now I'm just going to add a few longer lines into my silhouette just to make it a little less spotty, establish a little more of an outline. And the 5th tip is when we have a number of trees together, particularly if they're the same tree, is to draw the closest ones with a firmer, stronger, more definite outline, suggesting more detail, such as this foliage here, and to draw the more distant ones with a lighter, less contrasting touch. At this stage, we look back again and looking both at our reference and at our drawing, say, what is it that I want to do that will convey what I was really wanting to capture? And if we don't, we know we're finished. I will put this tree on my community page on my YouTube channel, so if you want to have a go at drawing it yourself, you can. You'll notice that with my hatching on my trunks, I like to suggest the roundness in my line work. But I also want to make them considerably darker than other dark areas in my drawing, because that also reflects the reality of our scene. So this tree has taken me 50 minutes to draw. G'day, I'm Stephen Travers. I painted Australian trees and flowers in oils for 10 years before I started drawing anything. And I know a lot of my technique from drawing trees has come from what I learned in painting them. I hope some of this can be helpful for you in your drawing trees. If you've got to this point and you haven't subscribed, well, why not? And I have a playlist with more videos on drawing trees and shrubs and foliages if this is an area you'd like to look at in more detail. I'll see you next time. Bye.